Hey YouTube. Alright, so I haven't made a video in a while, but you know, I'm an adult now, so I can only just spend money on stuff and then not make videos about them these days. That's kind of how it works. So I am back for the 2.4.0 PTR, and I gotta say, there are some things I'm excited about. I'm not gonna go into anything really. I just want to bring you guys kind of a build that I saw out there. And, you know, maybe for you guys that have been trying to play and getting a higher greater rifts, this next season or next patch might be good for you, because I know that the people that watch my videos, typically, at least the ones who come and ask me questions, are newer to the game, or they think that, you know, greater rift 60 is just amazingly high. And first thing I'd like to do is start off by saying I'm going to do a greater rift 60 in this. For the PTR, it is not very high. You have people doing GR80s with this build, and their gear is a little more well suited than mine. I'll get to that in a second. I just want to say that the nice thing about this build is it'll bump you up and hopefully help you get to the point where you can start pushing. And this next patch looks like it's going to be good for that, because they're just going to give us a shitload of stuff, it looks like. So now that we've got that out of the way, this build is basically centered around using lightning damage, so shade, and the fan of knives pinpoint accuracy. So quickly, my skills are Rain of Vengeance, Shade, Strafe, Rocket Storm. Part of this is the Rocket Storm always hits targets, it always lowers your Rain of Vengeance cooldown. The other part of, I guess, Convention of Elements does catch it, not that it really matters. Vengeance Seethe, but I also use an item that gives me the Dark Heart Rune to reduce damage taken by 50%. Fan of Knives Pinpoint Accuracy, which I'll get to in a second if you haven't looked at new items. Smokescreen Displacement is what I use. You can use whatever. I know one guy was using Vanishing Powder, and he combined that with Tactical Advantage. And Evasive Fire Focus, and that's pretty self-explanatory. I use Leech because this build is a lot about kind of just living. Thrill of the Hunt, which is honestly pretty damn useful. It'll keep stuff permanently still for Call of the Weak and Bane of the Trapped. Then, of course, Call of the Weak, and I use Awareness. So, my items are very standard. I'm not going to go through them individually because I know they're not as good as they should be for this build, which kind of sucks. But just a broad sense, you know, your helmet, Natalya's Embrace, Natalya's Touch, Natalya's Leggings, her Footprints, and her Slayer are the five kind of standard, wow, five. I meant six kind of standard Natalya's items you use with a Nats build. And hopefully you know how to roll these. Like my chest has Rain of Vengeance rolled, my gloves have cooldown and crit damage, crit chance. Your bows should hopefully have cooldown reduction. So, you know, the Mantle of Channeler are new, and basically while I'm strafing, I gain 24% damage, or up to 25, and I take 25% reduced damage, which does not roll as an, it doesn't change, it's just always 25% damage, which is honestly just great. On those, this is how I'd like them to roll, just better. For Zephyrian Amulet, I just use it cuz. No particularly good reason, so, you know, use whatever amulet you find best suited for your needs. S of Johan, or Johan, whatever, is pretty good for this build because it'll pull things in for you to Fan of Knives, so maybe keep that in mind. I'm using Wraps of Clarity. In this case, again, these are what you want, just higher. Lightning damage, dex, vit, and crit chance. My offhand is a Dawn. Keep in mind this does not have to be ancient as your offhand. It'd just be nice because you get a little more dex. Depends on how you want to roll it. I have Vit on mine. Not necessarily my first choice, but I can't really do anything about it. And obviously the biggest reason behind it is reducing the cooldown of Vengeance by 49%, which is awful and wish it was 60. And of course Crashing Rain for your belt. And then Focus and Restraint. These, use what you got. Mine are Dex, Crit Chance, Crit Damage. And the gems I'm using are Bane of the Stricken, Bane of the Trapped, and Taeguk. Taeguk, what kind of name is that? So real quick, I'll run over here. my Lord of Greenstone's fan. Basically, every 1 second, your Fan of Knives gains a stack and gets 300% more damage. When you use Fan of Knives, it expends these stacks, and then it gains again. So I combine this with Convention of Elements, and basically, you want to wait, if you can, for Convention of Elements, unless it's a white mob, or you just want to do it because you have high stacks, whatever. But waiting for Convention of Elements, when I have a lot of stacks of Fan of Knives, has let me hit for literally 400 billion damage. So when you're in there, just be kind of aware, like, oh, I use lightning, and about 10 or 11 stacks after that, lightning will be back, and you use it again. And then I'm using the Vestige of Goons? I don't know, Goones maybe? I don't really care, but basically it gives Vengeance the Dark Heart rune, and that makes my damage taken go down by 50%, which is a pretty big deal. So it's all pretty simple. I'll run through this Greater Rift real quick and try to give you what's going through my head when I'm doing this. Like I said, I'm doing Greater Rift 60 because I know I can do it pretty easily. I mean, I can do higher. You can easily do higher. I just, I'm a lazy bitch. So, boom, that Fan of Knives, they're just down. I had the 30 stacks, though, because, I was sitting in town. So, obviously, you're not always going to have that. But that's what Fan of Knives does. It just hits shit really hard. Channeling Pylon. Hell yeah. Now I'm just going to spam it. Point of reference, though, your Convention of Elements will roll into lightning right after fire, and that's kind of when you want to start paying attention. When it goes into fire, that's when you're thinking, alright, in like 3 or 4 seconds here, I want to set myself up for a really good Fan of Knives. And, I mean, it just hits so hard. Even with those 10 or 11 stacks, it'll hit for hundreds of millions. I mean, shit, I think 100 billion hits with those pretty common. See right there, you saw 57 billion hit on one of those white monsters. One thing they did do, which is pretty cool, is make it so that your numbers are more condensed. Because, I mean, it was getting kind of obnoxious seeing, like, 9-digit numbers. One thing I should probably mention is, with this build, you're not really trying to save your Vengeance. It should be off cooldown pretty often. And the point is to keep it up. Keep it the fuck up. Because you get hit and you take damage, and it's really not good for your health. So, as long as it's up, you're taking less damage, you're gaining back your hatred. Just FYI, honestly, if this was a more full rift, like, this would be a lot nicer. You'll find a part in the rift when hopefully it picks up, and with this build, your progress bar is just going to zoom right on up. You can do a GR 45 to 60 in like 5 minutes. Pretty standard. It sounds weird to say GR 45 to 60 as 5 minutes, but unfortunately this build, you can only move so fast, so don't expect to be clearing GRs in like a minute because, you just can't run that fast. But, that being said, do expect to be farming high Greater Rifts, at least higher than we have been, pretty easily. Because I gotta say, for GR 60, this, when you're playing live, you're not used to it, but it doesn't feel like much. So bam, wait for that Convention of Elements, and I just run in there and one-shot that fucker. Oh, another fucker. You wanna fuck on me, buddy? And that's why I was saying, my bar just zoomed up, 8% from those guys. Well, probably more, but you get the idea. Oh, I love Speed Pylon. Honestly, I'd say Shield Pylon's one of my favorites, because you can put yourself into a bunch of trouble. Well, you're not in trouble because you're invincible, but you just go into a bunch of shit and Fan of Knives and kill them all in one shot and then walk away like, yeah, I did that. Yeah, that was me. Now, if I can get a nice crit off for you guys when I do get to the Rift Guardian, they have about 400 billion health in GR60, and oh god, it'll just die in one shot to Fan of Knives if it's good. I took a wrong turn because I don't know directions to save my fucking ass. Oh, come on, just die. Don't be that guy. Damn, getting a lot of pylons. Oh, shield. As much as I like you, I don't really need you right now, bud. I wouldn't mind more stuff. This build is honestly, it's a major elite killer. I mean, that's definitely when I'm getting the most progress. You run to a room, there's 2 or 3 packs of elites, and you know you're about to gain about 15% of your bar in a solid, I don't know, 45 seconds if you're getting lucky crits. Well, I wish I didn't just fan of knives out there, but, you know. Now, I could fan here, but I'm going to let this build up so I can use it on the boss, who is up there for no goddamn good reason. Oh, by the time I get up there, I should be on lightning, I guess. Oh, I didn't even notice. Alright, we're on fire, boys. Let's... Bam! Ah, I didn't crit. That was 100 billion non-crit. That's pretty cool, I guess. Damn! We're not critting at all. Stuff I don't really care about. Well, in any case, guys, that's pretty much it. Comments, questions, concerns, just, you know, let me know. Maybe you can tell me what I'm doing wrong because I suck, blah blah blah. So hopefully you guys learned something, and I will catch you later.